While the opposition-controlled House passed a motion to set up a commission of inquiry into trafficking in persons, it is unlikely the President will establish it. The government side of the House did not support the call by opposition leader David Granger for the setting up of the commission. The opposition leader, in calling for the commission, said there have been credible reports that undetermined numbers of persons have been trafficked, kept in involuntary servitude, and required to perform forced labor, particularly in the hinterland regions of Guyana, but also elsewhere.
There's a syndrome of dodging the issue. There's a syndrome of pretending that the persons who are victims of trafficking have voluntarily entered into a state of prostitution. 14 and 15-year-old girls, people who are mute, people who are dumb, deaf, who have been trafficked into the hinterland. We're told by some excusers that these are self-inflicted wounds, that it is a lifestyle choice. They wanted to be prostitutes. It's time we get away from that, Madam Speaker.
The government, while agreeing that there are cases of trafficking in persons, insisted that it has its hand on the issue, and Minister of Human Services Jennifer Webster outlined several initiatives.
Our government has sought to implement imaginative initiatives within the context of available resources so as to prevent and mitigate the impact of current and emerging threats. Madam Speaker, it is with these remarks that I believe that I cannot lend my support to the motion tabled by the Honourable Leader for the call for a commission of inquiry.
Former Minister Bibi Shadiq sought to suggest that the opposition was mixing up trafficking in persons with other cases of abuse, and indicated that the setting up of a commission of inquiry would be a waste of time and money.
Madam Speaker, the last thing we need right now is another commission of inquiry. We had one that cost this country $200 million, and the people who asked for it don't like what came out of the inquiry. The last thing we need is a commission. We are not in denial that there are incidences of exploitation, and some of which may be trafficking. We are not in denial about that, Madam Speaker. None of us is. Nobody in the government is. But what we don't need is another commission of inquiry, which is another layer of bureaucracy.
Despite the government's objections, the opposition used its majority to pass the motion calling for the appointment of a commission of inquiry to inquire into the allegations of trafficking in persons and to determine the extent of the problem, and also to make recommendations for suppression and abolition of the unlawful trade. For Capital News, Neil Marks.